Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here. I'm eating some teriyaki chicken. I forgot to put this down before I started the video. Now I feel all weird and think I'm gonna throw it in my damn box there, but alright. Today's big news is that WWE announced that Alberto Del Rio violated the wellness policy. It seems like the wellness policies are starting to pop up back up again. There was a good, seemed like 2-year span where nobody was violating the wellness policy, and then all of a sudden, out of the middle of nowhere, you've got guys like Ricardo Rodriguez and Hornswoggle, almost guys that they were looking for a reason not to pay because of the fact that they weren't really doing anything that meant anything. We're trying to get them, off the roster, maybe trying to see if maybe they would quit, trying to think if maybe they would have a reason to release them, something like that. And I don't want to act like Alberto Del Rio is the biggest name in the company, a lot like Roman Reigns was last month. But Del Rio, basically having to sit on the sideline is really a big deal. It sort of sucks for Del Rio, honestly, in my opinion. If he did what he did, WWE's not going to come out and say what he did. But, I mean, you look at this guy's body the last month, 2 months, the dude went from looking great to, like, beyond the point of spectacular. The guy's cutter than cut, and it'd be really weird if this was anything other than some sort of weight loss drug / steroid to help this guy's body get to the point where it is. But when it comes down to it, I mean, like, I had high expectations. I guess this was like a year ago in October. I remember that he debuted, or he not debuted, Zach's gonna give me shit about this, but he returned at Hell in the Cell. He faced John Cena in the United States Open Challenge. They were in Los Angeles in the Staples Center. And he beat Cena. He kicked him in the head. Then he had one of the worst runs with the United States Championships that we ever seen, with him, battling it out with Kalisto, going back and forth. Everything that Cena had done to put life in the United States Championship in a matter of 2 months was basically flushed down the toilet because WWE was scared to mention that John Cena wasn't on the show, that Alberto Del Rio was the guy who beat John Cena, and they really didn't get behind him. They sort of, stories came out that WWE had to like overpay Del Rio to basically leave Ring of Honor. Who else was that? The Lucha show. He was working for a bunch of different companies, AAA. He had a lot of money rolling in, and he wasn't just going to leave that land on the table. So WWE wanted him to come back because they were struggling when they went to Mexico on their Mexican tour. They had to bring in Undertaker and Kane to have main events against the Wyatts, trying to get people to want a reason to go to WWE. And having Del Rio, there's no more Rey Mysterio there as well. It sort of left them in a bind. And, besides for the fact that they gave him a shitload of money for him to come back, Del Rio hasn't done nothing. He was a part of League of Nations, which was an ultimate fail. They did get a win at a WrestleMania, but what's that going to come down to? I mean, when you really think about it next year, when you're thinking about WrestleMania 32, are you really going to remember a 6-man tag between the New Day and the League of Nations? Maybe even the League of Nations getting their ass kicked by Mick Foley, Steve Austin, and Shawn Michaels. I mean, that's not even going to be a real memorable moment about what happened at the end of that match. But we'll have to see what happens after this. In my mind, I don't think it's going to happen. But if I'm Del Rio, I get mad. I get pretty fed up and just say, what the fuck? I'm doing everything I can do to push myself to the limits, and you guys won't do anything with me. He's one of the most highest paid guys in the company right now, and he can't win a match to save his life on either Raw or SmackDown or whatever brand he's on. He's just a dude, and it doesn't really make sense the amount of exposure this guy has. In 1 year he was working for almost every major company there was besides for TNA, in the United States as well as in Mexico. So I don't know. I mean, I know I made the video a few weeks ago when the story came out about Paige, basically not even really being used doing anything. And it's almost the same thing there is about Del Rio. And I didn't even really think about them being linked together when I brought that up, but they're just two superstars that are on the roster that can really do what they do, and they just don't let them do it. So it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. So we'll see you guys down the road. Those are my thoughts on the Del Rio suspension, and I'll see you guys later.